Oh, this is going to open up an interesting can of worms because there's so much to choose from. 50 years of SNL. The big question is...
What is the greatest, best, favorite, whatever, however you want to take it, what is the best SNL sketch of all time? I'm not going to give any examples because I'm afraid to take somebody else's. So let's start with Jim.
Okay.
Because, and this is not a joke, you have the most experience with SNL. So you have more of a breadth of knowledge than, let's say, we do.
And what I'm curious here is because the generational thing.
Yeah. That's kind of why I'm starting.
How people remember SNL, how they connect to people always say, well, back when SNL used to be funny.
Yes.
It's nonstop of that, right?
That's
Every
right.
generation connects with certain bands of characters and cast members. So I'm very curious with our age splits here, how that will affect.
And that's why I want to start with Jim.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because that is true. Having lived through the entire 50 years of SNL, even though I was quite young when it came out. The interesting thing I have seen repeated over and over and over is that when you were of a certain age, you loved SNL, you thought it was really funny, and then you hit an age where the cast changed, you changed, your situation in life changed, and you're like, yeah, when SNL was funny. But it's happened over and over and over. So, like, it's this amazing cycle. If you get a chance at a family reunion, just bring up, SNL, and somebody will say, yeah, well, it was
and then
funny.
you get is SNL back?
You're right.
If you're around a family dinner, Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner, whatever, and somebody starts talking politics, this is how you get them off. What's your favorite SNL era? And then just watch it spread like wildfire.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That's great.
You've just saved families.
You're welcome.
So saying that, I do have a lot to choose from, but I'm going to go to, I think, one of the weirdest skits, and I don't even know why it makes me laugh so hard to this day as it did the first time I saw it. The official title of the skit is Patio Lavas. And this is a skit that involves Will Ferrell, Christopher Walken, Rachel Dratch, and they're the intellectuals, weirdos on a patio, and it has that famous line that I absolutely love. My belly sluggish, filled with goat meat. It's what? Why? Where is this coming from? Why is this resonating with me? Why am I laughing so hard? I still don't know, but I love Patio Lavas.
I will jump in here because I think the better Lava sketch is when they're in the hot tub with Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon. That's my favorite of those sketches.
Okay. Yeah.
So funny.
Maybe because that wasn't the first one. The first one just hit so hard, so weird.
For sure.
I didn't think that's the era that Jim would go with. I'm very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. I adore that skit, and I don't know why.
You want to go next?
Okay, yes. I have an honorable mention.
Okay.
It's Matt Foley, Van Down by the River.
Yeah, yes.
That is
one of the greatest sketches of all time. Although I would argue, as a student of comedy, that it doesn't end well. That he leaves and the family locks the door. And, I love you, Dad. I love you too, Dad. And it's this weird, awkward ending.
Yeah, but until you get to that point,
the first 85% is
and the breaking of character during it as well.
Oh,
I mean, so much that is just iconic, and they just let him roll. Let Chris Farley roll.
Mm-hmm. If you want a great behind the scenes story, go look at or go listen to Fly on the Wall, the Christina Aguilera. Wow, Christina Applegate episode. I think around the 10-minute mark. I've listened to 20 times. I think around the 10, 12-minute mark, they start talking about that sketch for 8 or 9 minutes, and it's just awesome. Her recollection of it and his, and then they share it together because it's Spade, obviously. It's awesome.
Fly on the Wall is a podcast with Danny Carvey and Carvey, I mean, if you want your behind-the-scenes stuff, it's gold there.
But for that sketch, though, I said it again, the Christina Applegate episode is awesome. Go ahead, sorry.
So my favorite, and this is one that I still quote to this day, all through high school, college, this is iconic for me, I think, for the era, is Celebrity Jeopardy.
Oh, God.
French Stewart, Burt Reynolds, and Sean Connery.
Yes!
One of the most iconic sketches of all time, because you get Suck It Trebek.
Yep.
You get Texas with a $.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many key moments in one sketch. How many sketches have multiple quotable items in it, right?
Right. That bring you to tears.
Yes.
They're
and
so
then
funny.
You say it, you immediately go back to one sketch. You're thinking in a matter of a few minutes, you have so many things you can quote. That is it for me. That is the one. And so many times those characters reoccurring is difficult to choose just one. But that right there, that one is the iconic Jeopardy one for me.
Okay, well, speaking of Christopher Walken, and I know this is not a unique answer, but I was waiting for everyone else to go so I could make sure that if I had to pivot, I could.
Okay.
Number one is Cowbell. It's the greatest sketch of all time, other than maybe Van Down by the River. But again, I would argue that didn't end well. So half a point off for that. Cowbell is top because not only is Will Ferrell wearing this shirt too tiny for himself, but I've got the background story in that apparently during rehearsal, he's wearing a regular shirt. So he comes out for the actual live taping in this shirt that's too small. And so that's why Fallon laughed at everything, but that's why Fallon's laughing, so much. Catan loses it a little bit.
Fallon did laugh in every sketch.
And then, but Christopher Walken comes in. Obviously, he's got that great line of, I got a fever. That's not going to rehash that. But he's got other things like I put on my pants like everyone else, but when I put my pants on, I make gold records. And Catan goes, what does that even mean? Never question Bruce Dickinson. It doesn't make any sense. And it's so funny. And, by the way, side note, it was in The Hole. It was the sketch before Good Nights because it wasn't thought of very highly. It was like this throwaway sketch.
Oh, man.
Right.
And it's just the best of all time.
That is an excellent answer. And and those are usually where they put the skits they think won't work.
Yes.
It's not going to hurt us, 3 minutes before we sign off.
If people don't get there, who cares?
And how do you know it's iconic? I cannot hear "Don't Fear the Reaper."
Yes, without the cowbell,
I cannot hear it the same way.
Peek inside, behind the curtain. So I am a morning radio personality. We were actually playing "Don't Fear the Reaper." I didn't know it was coming up. I didn't see it in the queue of songs coming up. But as it's playing, I'm feverishly typing in that skit on YouTube so I can grab the quote, "Needs more cowbell," and played it and got it on the air over the end of the song where it's just instrumental. And it was like, yeah, that's what I do.
You make gold records.
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Film Project Podcast. To support the show, please rate, review, follow, and subscribe. Original music by Jeremy Schwartz. Special thanks to the Music City Film Critics Association. Editing and post-production by Jeremy K. Gover. Voiceover by Chad Bennett.